Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. I'm going to make sure I'm not muted. I think I'm good. All right. So in this video, I wanted to discuss the midterm and how it works in this course. And I'm going to also talk about how we want to do the polling for the midterm time slot as well. So hopefully it will be very helpful for you. So a bit of an overview of the midterm in RLS 100 this semester for 2020 is that, first of all, the basic date here is it's going to happen on October 16th. So it's 2 weeks and a half away. So it's a good time to definitely start to think about it and prepare for it, definitely. And it's going to be Friday. And all the date and time we're talking here is based on Edmonton time, okay? That's, I think, MDT, Mountain Daytime, I guess, daytime time zone. So if you're in a different time zone, even in Canada or even outside of Canada, please make sure that you're aware of the time difference, okay? So that's your job to take care of that. And here in this course this semester, I'm offering basically 2 time slots for the midterm. One is 9 to 11 a.m. The other is 7 to 9 p.m. Okay, and I'm going to talk about why this is necessary. An exam, the midterm exam, will be worth 22% of your final grade. So it's going to be, a chunk of the grade. So let's prepare for it and let's get a good mark here. And it covers from chapter 1 to 6. So we're almost there, right? We finished almost 1 and we finished chapter 5 already, right? And we finished chapter 3 already. Now we're moving on to chapter 4, and next week is going to be chapter 6. We're almost there. So within this 2-hour exam time window, what I'm asking you to do is two things. One is multiple choice. It looks a lot like the weekly quiz basically, but it's going to be longer, right? And there will be about 30 minutes or so. It depends on the number of questions. I will decide. The one key difference here would be you would have less time per question in this exam, because the assumption here is that after weekly quizzes and preparing for exam, you'll be more ready for it, okay? And you would do multiple choices, just like same. The other thing that I want you to do is the written answer, short answer, written answer, or even, well, it's technically not written as in handwritten, it's typed. It's going to be typed. And I will give you 1 hour for this, okay? So that means there will be 2 separate links, like quiz links, right, on eClass for each of those things, right, for multiple choice written. So it's going to be 1 for multiple choice, 1 for written part. And you're going to have to finish both of them within a 2 hour. And I know, if you add 30 minutes and 1 hour, it doesn't really add up to 2 hours. So that means within that 2 hour range, you have some leeway time. For example, you want to give yourself like 5 minutes of meditation before getting into the exam. You can do that. Or you want to have a 10 minutes break between the multiple choice and the written part. You can do that. You want to flip the order. You want to do the written first and then multiple choice. You can do that. As long as you can finish both within the 2 hour time you sign up for, you're going to be fine. Now, a bit of warning here is that the fact that you do one session quicker, right? Let's say you finish your multiple choice within the 20 minutes. That's not going to give extra, let's say, 10 minutes to your written part. So that's a little bit of a tricky part because of the online nature, right? So if you have extra time, what you got to do is to double check. If you do double check, you want to do proper triple check, right? The maximize, you use the time efficiently and effectively. Okay. How are we going to prepare for the midterm? First of all, there will be a study guide, which will be uploaded at least a week before the exam. I'll try to be as early as possible, but please don't use the past study guides, which happened in the past, and it didn't lead to good results for those students. So that was not a good. So make sure that you use this year's study guide, okay? Especially with the online, the structure and some of the stuff that we were talking about is a little different from the past 2 years. And the multiple choice will look very similar to chapter quizzes. So if you have done very, well, I shouldn't say very similar, actually, well, some of the questions are very similar, but, I may tweak example, I may tweak the options, I may tweak something. So if question looks similar though to the multiple choice, chapter quizzes questions, be careful. I may have tweaked something, so don't assume that the answer will be the same, for example, right? So if you have done a great job in chapter quizzes, that should give you confidence for this multiple choice section. If you haven't been so great in chapter quizzes, this is your time to work on those chapter quizzes. If you want to go over some of your chapter quizzes and develop some strategy for you in terms of how to become better at a multiple choice, we can do that too. Let me know. Written answer will address the topics very similar to the weekly activities, right? Weekly activity, I ask you some two, discussion topics or so, and you kind of, post something on our eClass forum, which many of you have done. Great, because the topic's going to be similar, okay? By topics are similar, I may not necessarily ask you about your favorite ritual, for example, per se, but you having a good understanding of ritual and or can think about the example ritual would be potentially, for example, very important in your midterm exam. Things like that. I may not ask you maybe necessarily, make a time travel ad, but the fact that you have a really good, intimate, in-depth understanding of one historical time would be very, very important. And you can be, you can identify some of the key characteristics of the time, which you did in your, time travel ad activity. That would be very helpful. That should be very helpful if the same topic is asked in exam, okay? So for those of you who have done weekly activity, now this is the benefit. And take a look of your peers. That's what I'm saying. That's what we're saying. Take a look of your peers, group members, answers as well. Our feedback to your weekly post. Make sure you read them too, because we're going to be marking the same people. Me and also our TAs are going to mark your written parts. So it's important for you to know what we tend to consider very good answers. And you can also learn from peers' answers as well. And that's going to be a really great resource. And our feedback to your group members, you're basically, multiplying the amount of information and the amount of basically resources by checking out other people's posts and their, feedback as well. Now, there will be some advanced question, right? In addition to these questions that are fairly similar to chapter quizzes and weekly activities. These advanced questions basically will integrate, go across the chapters. Maybe I will pull something from chapter, history and maybe humanities and kind of integrated question. Now, this is meant to be a difficult question. So that's another thing that you want to potentially work on in terms of, okay, so now we covered chapter 1 to 6, right? And what are the common themes? What are we talking about? The big picture thinking as well. And that's probably the last thing. It's most advanced. Now, in terms of format and what you can use in this exam, you can use the lecture videos, lecture notes, your own notes, the notes you took, the textbook. Yes, you can use them. I'm not sure how you can use the videos during exam because that's going to take a lot of time. So it's important to have a good notes probably, right? But even so, you're not going to have a lot of time to go back to, notes for each question. So it's important for you to have a basic understanding and prepare for those potential questions. Like I'm going to provide you sample questions, so do that. But also go back to chapter quizzes, for example. They're going to be good practices for your multiple choice. Go back to weekly activity because, again, they're going to be a really good resources for your written part as well. Okay, so prepare. Now, you may not use the internet, right? Google search. And here I'm really trying to help you because it won't probably help much anyway. And if there's any wrong information on the internet, I'm not going to be able to give you a point for that. Okay, so I really recommend that you don't. And of course, using it will be a violation of students' code of behavior. So I strongly encourage you not to do that. And also, you cannot use other people's help, including both, of course, like talking to each other through online, social media, messenger type of chat, for example. You may not do that. You cannot talk to any other people like your family member, roommates during the exam time, which is same as, typical exam. Of course, emergency will be another, it's exception if it's a really, really emergency, of course. Another thing, it's tricky part. So if you share any material with other people, that material, if the material is written, even partially by other people, that belongs to that other people, right? So that's not, you can't really open up during exam. However, if you kind of take a notes or summary based off of that, based off of what other people told you, that's great. So let's say you were looking at other people's, for example, weekly activities, and you go like, oh, this is good. Let's take a quick note of that. You can use definitely the note for during the exam as well. So this is a bit of a tricky part. I didn't use the word here, the open-ended, open book format, because open book can mean so many different things, okay? So please have a good understanding of what you can and you cannot use. The exam will take place on E-class. It's basically like, the same links, like quiz links, right? That you have used so far, right? The one would go to like multiple choice section. The other will go to the written part. The exam will also require the use of some type of online proctoring system, which I will be discussing with the technology staff, tech staff at the university, and I'll let you know a little more detail later. Now, what are we going to do now? So I want to do a quick polling, right, survey about your preferred exam time, okay? So please use the polling link that is at the top, well, second top maybe, of our E-class page to sign up for a certain time of the exam time slot by this Friday, the end of Friday, October 2nd. So you can either sign up for October 16th, 9 to 11 a.m. or October 16th, 7 to 9 p.m. Again, it's Edmonton time, right? So these are basically the main options for you. And I listed a third option here, October 21st. This is a deferred midterm, okay? Deferred midterm is not given. It's a privilege according to the university's policy, okay? So if you read, you cannot choose third option without having a very, very important, for example, thing, like you have for a medical appointment with a doctor during, on October 16th all day, so you cannot take, or you're having a surgery in the morning. I'm not gonna let you do the exam right after that. Yes, that makes sense. A family emergency or whatever that might be. There's a good reason, then I totally understand you have to take it later or a different date, okay? But basically you sign up for either 1 or 2, and if you want to go for 3, you have to email me the reason as soon as possible, and we will work from there, okay? So if you are going to sign up for the 3, don't just sign up, you have to email me. Clear? Okay. And if you do not sign up by the end of the Friday, this Friday, October 2nd, we will assume you chose the option 1, okay? That doesn't mean that you cannot just, if you're going for option 1, oh, I don't have to do anything. Please, for the sake of clarity, I would definitely appreciate it. You could just click. It's just 1 click, okay? Please do so, okay? Because we don't want to have any mix-up. It's going to be the first time trial in this course in terms of doing exam online. So that's the end of this video, and I hope this information will help you. And please do the polling by the end of this Friday. And I will provide more information and resources for the midterm so you can do a good job in the midterm. Okay, bye now.